Right, we'll start this meeting on the 23rd of May. First item on the agenda, 23-2401, is the election of a chair and a vice chair.
I'd like to propose Howard again.
I'd second
Please.
that.
All in favour? Brilliant. You want me to
Very
take
much.
over, Howard?
Thank you. Carry on for another year. Nominations for Vice Chair. David Heseltine.
I will
Sorry.
nominate David Heseltine.
Do we have a seconder?
Yeah.
All in favour? Thanks, David. I knew
Thank you,
would.
Rachel. You can't complain at me now.
23, 24 or
He's
2.
just got in now, he's starting again.
Apologies for absence. To note apologies for absence. Which we've all seen the diary, haven't we?
I propose that we accept the apologies.
Accept.
I'll second that.
September block, yep. 23, 24 or 3, disclosure of interest to receive declarations of interest from councillors on items on the agenda, and we'll receive one from
myself
Bill Gentleman.
about item number 9.
So we'll not be speaking on that.
And I think in the interest of clarity, we all know Mr. Gentleman as he's recently joined us. So, well, I think we just need to make the public out there aware of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine, David, thanks, yeah. Have we received any written requests, Nicola?
No.
No. So, to receive and consider any request for dispensation as appropriate, well, we've received that and we've accepted that, haven't we? So, 23, 24 04, minutes of previous meeting. You've all seen the previous meetings. Minutes, I mean. And I'll approve them.
Second.
All in favour? You'll have to abstain, won't you, Bill?
Well, thank
Yeah,
you.
you want
He's one here.
I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah, but you weren't here. 23, 24 05. Competence items to be discussed in confidence after item 23, 24 11. We haven't got anything, have we, Nicola?
No, that's it.
23, 24 06. Public participation. Members of the public are reminded that this is their opportunity to speak to the meeting on any topic relevant to the agenda. However, they may not speak during the rest of the meeting unless specifically invited to do so by the chairman. Now then, who's going to be the spokesman? Have we got a spokesman? And do you,
can.
do you want to speak?
To say something.
Do you want to speak? Are you speaking on a particular?
Yes, on item
Application.
9. On item 9.
So you'd like? So are you happy to wait till item 9 then?
Yes, yeah, that's fine.
Or should we?
I would bump item 9 to
think
the
I'd
first
like-
one. I
I'd
think
like
everybody's here for item 9, is it?
Yeah.
I'd
We'll
like
bump
to,
that up to the first one now.
Yeah.
I propose.
I'd like to, yeah, David has proposed to move item 9 to the top. Do we have a seconder?
Me.
Just point at them.
In favour? Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll move it to the top of the list for you.
Okay.
Right, 23, 24 07, ongoing issues. Any notified planning panels?
No.
We haven't, have we? Or notified appeals? No. 23, 24 08, previous plan applications. Well, Nicola's again very kindly printed out the sheet of those that have been granted. There's only 2, well, I'm saying there's only 2. There's 2 that you'll note that they've granted that we rejected. But out of, yes, it's an improvement.
Mhm.
We seem to be making some influence.
Either that or we're falling into.
Oh, we're doing it right.
Yeah, we're doing it right. Yeah.
We're doing it right, or we just like to think
Nice,
that item 9. Yeah, because I've been doing all the touring and for him, well, Nicola decided to have a holiday. Right then, consideration plan applications. We're going to discuss item 9, application number 23/01142. David, would you like to, or Andrew, would you like to kick it off, or?
You want me to kick off, or
Would you like?
would you like the residents to speak first?
Yeah, what do you like to
Go
kick off then?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. My name is John Bibby and I live on Hunson's Close.
Yeah.
I've already sent in an objection through the portal. There was a previous application for this development for 5 houses, and there were lots of objections to that, and the application was withdrawn. The 3 properties proposed in this application has the same impact on the residents of Huntsman's Close as the one before. There are 2 concerns for me. The 2-storey houses proposed are out of character with the traditionally built Eldwick Grange and Loxley House, together with the bungalows sited on the close. They would overbear and overshadow the neighbouring properties. The other concern involves the impact of development which would cause to the increased traffic at the junction with Sheriff Lane, which is already a potential hazard, which has to be negotiated very gingerly. Thanks for listening.
Right, John, that's fine, is it all, yeah?
That's for me.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you want to?
Yeah, just if I can do, please. So my name's Stuart Wooler. I live on Huntsman's Close as well. 5 Huntsman's Close. So we join on to Eldwick Grange. So I agree with everything that John has already said. All I would add 2 things. First of all, because they are 4-bedroomed houses, then normally you don't have families in 4-bedroom houses, which means you have a lot more traffic because you've got parents going to work, you've got children going to school, after school activities. So it isn't just 3 more houses, it's quite an increase, I'd expect, in the amount of traffic. And as John says, it is a really, Sheriff Lane is very parked up because the post office is so popular, which is a great amenity, but it means you get a lot of traffic down there. So you get, with 3 family houses, you get a lot more traffic going in and out. The other thing I'd like to mention is last night when we looked out of our kitchen window, we could see there was a bat survey going on, which has already been briefly mentioned. It was a particularly cold night last night, even though we're in the middle of May, and it was windy, and as far as I know, you don't often get bats in those conditions. But that's just something to mention.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Andrew.
I don't think they've addressed the access and highway situations from last time. It's exactly the same. And that is my major concern, is how to exit and actually enter these particular new builds. And as this gentleman rightly said, there's very large properties which will have a large amount of cars, one presumes. And I think access is going to be a severe problem.
Is it no better than?
It's no better, it hasn't changed at all. The only thing that has changed is there's one less property,
Yeah.
but that was going to access onto the other road at the other top end of the site. So the problem with Sheriff Lane is exactly as it was before. It hasn't been addressed. It's the same.
Well, Sheriff Lane, I mean, I know it. I mean, it's almost like is it an unadopted road?
It's adopted.
It's adopted, is it?
But it's
It's
little
very
more than a
narrow.
cart track, I think.
Yeah, it's
Very
narrow,
narrow, isn't it?
and there's a lot of cars that are parked on it as well.
Yeah.
So it's essentially it's a 1-lane road.
It is, isn't it, really?
There's only a footpath on one side as well.
David?
Yeah, are you
Yeah,
done
finish.
at the minute? Right. It has been mentioned that one house has dropped off, which was to exit via a different route. It still presents 3 significantly large properties onto Huntsman's Close, which is what we had previously. The gaps between them are minimal, and it actually takes away from the openness of that area. There's bungalows further up Huntsman's Close, there's the large Grange 1800 building of some variety, and a big modern house quite next to it. Putting these 3 in front of the Grange will detract from the Grange and the bungalows adjacent further up Huntsman's Close. So it totally alters the street scene and impacts on the openness and presentation of the Grange. Looking through the plans, There's some minimal soakways in the front of the properties, which, when you're putting such large houses up there, one has to take into fact that that big lawn is the soakaway, and you are removing huge chunks, and it's a poorly drawn diagram, but it looks no bigger than you could park a Mini on. So from
Yeah.
a good section of land as a soakaway, and I'm led to believe that that area does have drainage problems and is quite boggy at the best of times. So, you know, there doesn't seem to be any attempt to mitigate the build regarding the drainage. Highway safety, yeah, that's been sort of mentioned. Sheriff Lane, it's a poor, substandard road. 3-4 bedroom houses will have, I would imagine, 3 or 4 cars minimum, plus other comings and goings. The sight line out of the Huntsman's Close is compromised in both directions. Adding to that problem, I don't think it is particularly good on highway safety. Mentioned that these 3 houses look cramped, effect on the setting of the grades, and I think the size, scale, plus the highways, plus the drainage, we maybe need to look at recommending refusal, size, scale, massing, highway safety, drainage issues.
Nicola, can you just pull up the top one, the consultee drainage?
Bats were mentioned, and
What did they say?
when Island Bridge was rebuilt,
Yes, there were.
the survey had to be done at a particular time of year,
Yeah, they did.
because the said bats migrate from the Upperdales barns down into Bingley for their summer season. So it's cold, it's not into that summer season yet. Those poor little bats might still be
Do you want
up
to
in
move
Swaledale
down there?
before they come down. So if you're looking for them now, they might turn up in 3 or 4 weeks' time when it's migration time. So timing your survey prior to bats arriving is, you know, in my view, poor.
I'm just reading what they have to say.
If I may say, there's quite a number of objections as well.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? Yeah.
Into the 40s.
So they're not particularly. Is there any more, Nicola? Scroll down. Andrew, do you want to say
Would it be
something else?
possible to see what we turned it down on last time it was submitted?
Well, didn't they withdraw?
They withdrew
we
it.
turned it down. We turned it down on size, scale,
And,
street
Yeah.
scene, I think, and maybe
yeah, they withdrew
highways.
it, didn't they?
But they withdrew that. That never got to Bradford.
So it didn't get
So
to.
they dropped a house off, which had a different access point anywhere. So it wouldn't have impinged the highways or the street scene as you face Huntsman's Close. And these 3 will still be in front of the Grange. Taking that, that's almost like Village Green, although it's private land, that Village Green sort of centre.
Just scroll down again, please, Nicola. Is there any more?
I take it that's their drainage report, is it? Yeah.
I
Drainage
think
should be
a
via
lot of
a
us are at a
separate system.
consensus here, aren't we? Shall we suggest that
Yes, I think,
we reject it, or it be rejected based on
We
drainage, overdevelopment,
Highways.
highways, bats.
Bats.
so have we a
Street
proposal for
scene.
Are you proposing that?
I'll propose
I'll
that.
second
that?
that.
I suppose seconded, and all in favour? Bill's abstaining because Bill is the neighbour, so he's abstaining, rightly so. So that's carried. Have we got all the?
I have, yeah.
What have you got, Nicola? Please, can you just tell us?
Size, scale, massing, the highways, overdevelopment, drainage and the bats.
Thanks, Nicola. Right, we'll go back to the agenda, running order.
Are we in order to leave now, Chair?
Yes, yes. That's
Enjoy
why we
your
brought it-
evening.
Thank you.
That's why we brought it to the top of the agenda for your benefit, so you didn't have to stop and go through all the other 13.
It is the Mr. Bibby.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you
later.
all.
John, it is the Mr. Bibby. Yeah.
It hasn't.
Oh,
You're on.
yeah, not to interest of clarity, I do know Mr. Bibby as well.
Open the door. It's like a light switch next to the door.
Right.
Yeah, you Bradford Council Officer,
Environment.
Environment and whatever.
All right.
Used to do a lot of work in.
Right, number 1, 23/01155, 2 Glendale Cotterley. I've had a look, and yes, it is a big plot, but it's I can't see any problem with it. What we're going to do with it? Taking the garage down and building the 2-storey side extension. I don't see a problem. I'd like to approve it.
Second you.
Seconded.
Sorry.
All in favour? Thanks. Number 2, 23/00933, 23 The Orchards. Let me read out what Philippa looked at this, so I'll read out Philippa's notes. Removal of existing conservatory and replacement with same-size single-storey extension forming a bathroom for a disabled person. Large site. All materials proposed are in keeping with the current property and the development is reasonable and in concordance with permitted development, and she is recommending approval.
I'll second that.
So, no, we need a proposal.
I'll propose.
Oh,
You go, you
we're all going.
You're seconded, all in favour? Thanks. Can't keep up you two now. Number 3, 23/01015. Rachel, please, you are.
Yeah, this is sort of around the Myrtle Park houses, the terrace houses. It's just off a side road, a cul-de-sac down there, and there's a parcel of land that these people want to build on. That is, it's quite a substantial house, is what I would say. It's quite big, and it's got quite a few. It's got a few objections, and also I couldn't make out from the plans how a person would drive up to the house. I just couldn't make it out from the plans. So, are you on there, Nicola?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you
Site
went,
plan?
yes, there's a site
Yeah.
plan somewhere.
I seem to think that this has had planning permission before and they haven't actually, so it's like a reapplication.
Oh, right.
I think this has had planning permission passed before.
So you come in down here. This is the road. This is the house that's already there, and this is the new house. So all I can think of is that you would park here in their drive, and then walk down. And those are steps. Even so, then that's not
But if it's
disabled
forming
accessible, is it?
if
So-
it's forming a bathroom for a disabled person, they're going to want something that's flat and accessible.
Are there ramps above it?
So it does go down. It does slope down.
It's in a hollow, if I remember it.
Yeah.
It's in what, sorry?
In a hollow.
Right,
It's
It's
below the level of the existing house.
right.
Philippa's comments, access appears very strange, a single drive to a garage with no turning circle and then a long walk. Tree loss looks like at least one goes. And she's not in favour of it, but she's not here, but that's Philippa's comments. Rachel, what do you think?
I would recommend to reject on overdevelopment, loss of trees, and access.
Should we look at
Yeah.
the site?
Yeah,
Be a block plan.
So that's my proposal.
thank you. Seconder for that? David, all in favour? Yes?
No,
No?
no. I think I can't see anything different to what it was passed from last time previously.
Right, okay, David, yeah.
It's just strange that, as you mentioned, it's a disabled facility,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it looks very non-disabled
Non-disabled.
It
approach.
does, doesn't it? Yes, it does,
You're
yeah.
going to roll down the hill or
Yeah,
something, yeah.
yeah.
Well, they ain't even slope, is it? It's all
They're
steps.
steps, yeah, so.
Right then.
Was that passed? Did we pass
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sorry, yes it was. Next week. Number 4, 23/01401. Again, this was Philippa's single storey extension, conservatory in brackets, And ancillary changes, new window style throughout, PV on roof. Conservatory introduces ground floor windows facing neighbours at number 1. Presumably she means obscured glazing proposed, and a 1.8 metre fence in place, so no direct overlooking, recommending approval.
I'd recommend approval. I had a look at it. I couldn't see
David?
anything.
Second it.
Seconded, all
Yes.
in favour? Granted. Thank you. Number 5, 23/01295, Evergreen Sheriff Lane.
Yeah.
Andrew or David?
This is
David, can I
one of the newer constructions down Sheriff Lane. The outbuildings, stroke garages, quite a ramshackle affair, and it was nice to see an application for a replacement of said garage with real world cars in and gaps so you could get out. So they've
Right,
actually
so-
drawn Range Rovers side by side. There's so many garages put up that if you get in the garage you'll never get out of the car. So they are working in real world. I don't have an issue with it, to be honest.
Where is this in relation to where we've just
With
been
the-
discussing? Item number 9.
A
Backs
lot,
onto
a
a
lot
field.
further down. It's past the Glen
You mean a
Road,
lot further down Sheriff
going
Lane?
down towards the caravan homes.
Okay.
On your right hand side, there's end of Gilstead Lane. There's a property called Little Garth. Then this one where they're wanting to put in. There's then a field, and then there's one called the Orchards, which
Yeah.
we've had here previously.
Yeah.
So it's a significant built house. Why they didn't put it in with the original application, I don't know, but I don't have an issue with it.
I'll second this.
And you're all in favour? Yep. Thank you. Number 6, 23/01501, Bingley Railway Station. Extension platforms so they can have longer trains running.
Correct. I don't have a problem with it.
No, I'll
No, I
second
don't
it.
either.
All in favour? No, they're going to have longer trains. New trains. Believe that when we see it, don't we? There'll be offcuts from down south. Number 7, 23/01570, 31 Bailey Hills Road, Rachel.
Yeah, this is a parcel of land that they people want to convert so they can have off-street parking. I'm not really familiar with the area, but it doesn't look like there would be issues coming out. They also want to drop the curb so they can use it as a parking space or like a driveway.
Yeah.
And the dormer window doesn't really look onto anyone, really. It's sort of in keeping with the area. I personally like the idea of taking cars off roads and putting it somewhere inland. So
Interesting comment from Philippa. There are no dormers on the street, so unlikely to get approval. Can't see a drop curb on Google. There is current access to garages via Thornfield, ? Reject. So I don't know how that concurs with your thoughts or not.
Can we bring the
Could we see it on there,
plans?
please, Chair?
Yeah, we can. Where is it? Bailey Hills Road.
Can you make the site map side of it a bit bigger, please?
That one, yeah.
Yeah. And
So it's that. That's it there, and that's where the parking would be. In that part there.
Oh, so it's at the end of the street.
Yeah.
and it's in the terrace houses, isn't it?
So is the parking off the side road, not the main road?
If you just move down a bit. I think that's what they propose their parking is there.
I think of an idea which house that is. It's quite a large garden.
It's
and there's a garden there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says utilising existing drop curb.
Yeah.
So
that one.
the dormer window doesn't particularly bother me. The dormer window's going to look out that way. Somebody has to be first off the dormer window, don't they?
Are you
So,
proposing this?
I'm proposing
second
to
it.
accept
Second
it.
All in favour, please show. Thank you, yes. Number 8, 23/01172, Bingley Grammar School. Just to note that these comments may not be noted because the deadline is this Friday, although I have argued vehemently with Mark Hutchinson to the contrary on this, but we're going to submit the comments anyway, but they may not, just to let you know, they may not be taken note of. God knows why, because there's another one on Friday which they're going to accept. So. Anyway.
Yeah, it's an improvement for the SEND facility at Bingley Grammar School. The pool's a derelict building. I would be quite happy to move that we support it.
I'll second that.
All in favour? Yep. Approved. Thanks. Number 9. We've done. We've rejected. Number 10. 23/01238, 162 Main Street, Bingley. It's retrospective planning approval. Friendly ones.
Well, as you are all aware, I don't normally agree with it because I think people should apply for planning permission beforehand. But in this circumstance, I've actually been down, and this particular flue has been installed for around 3 years.
Oh.
It's never been complained about before. If I didn't explain where it was, you wouldn't find it, so it's not detrimental to any sort of street scene whatsoever.
Right.
There are no residential units near it whatsoever, with no opening windows.
Are there any objections to it?
So is anyone complaining about it? Why did they?
I do know who's complaining about it, but I'd rather not say,
No.
if you can read between the lines.
Okay.
I have visited the property 3 times. Once when it wasn't in operation and I couldn't find it. And once when it was in operation, it's obviously the flue from the cafe.
Oh,
There is hardly any noise from the flue whatsoever, and there certainly aren't any smells.
No.
I mean, not being a restaurateur, I wouldn't even think you'd need planning permission
That's what happened.
for an
I've
extraction
spoke
duct.
to the particular individual that owns the property. She was absolutely devastated, and you can actually ascertain very quickly, as Rachel rightly states, it wasn't done on purpose.
No. David, you
Yeah.
know.
I'm of a similar opinion to Andrew. They've expanded pre-COVID, very successful restaurant in the evening. Just seem a little churlish that somebody's now decided to make an issue about it. Unless you went round the back of the building and down a rough cobble street with cars and bins and everything else in it, you wouldn't see it. I would say that we move to
approve it.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Seconded, all in favour?
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 11, 23/01334, Bingley Grammar School. Installation of temporary 2-storey porta cabin building till 2024. Details of time, Mr. Fenton?
Right, I'll go then. 2-storey porta cabin, it does give an end date of 2024. Some of these temporary things can be a little bit more than the prescribed.
If I may, there are porta cabins in Bingley Grammar School that I was in.
Yeah.
So, and that was a while ago.
That was more than 2
And they're
years.
still there.
I'm trying to. Well, I wanted a porta cabin at a school, and it was there as long as I was there. My reading into it, and I might be right or I might be wrong. This could be something while they are doing the other developments to allow them to work on other bits of the school. It doesn't exactly say that, but we do know the school's intake is due to increase. So we need to put the little darling somewhere. My only concern with an increase in the actual numbers at the school is the ongoing and potential to increase the traffic management issues outside the school. but we already have that issue and that just needs enforcing. There are plenty of things there that can be enforced. So I'd move that we approve.
Approve it. Do I have a second, please? Andrew, all in favour? Thank you. Number 12. Page over. 23/01474 Downey Cottage, Downey Gap. Let me just read what Ashraf did have a look at this one. The application should recommend approval subject to comments made by landscape design and conservation where they have no objection, and similar proposed neighbouring property extension granted under application 21/04621, and the similar materials to be used as stated. So he's saying it's okay as long as they follow landscape design.
I had a look at this, I passed it the other day. There's ample space at the side for
Yeah.
it. There's the only trees that are evident are self-seeded, scrubby trees. There's nothing
So
really,
there's nothing.
no detriment to it, so
So
I
you're
don't see any
happy,
problem with it.
you're happy to approve it then?
Yeah.
Second.
Seconded, all in favour? Thank you. Thank you for that, Bill. Comment, welcome. Number 13, 23/01447, 64 Otley Road.
Yeah, it's a way down Otley Road, heading out of the village as such. There's a variety of types and styles of property down there. I can't honestly see there's an issue with it.
You're proposing it.
Yeah.
Do we have a second there?
Bertram, go on.
Sorry?
I seconded it.
Was it my turn?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I'll second it.
All in favour? Thank you. And finally, number 14, 23/01399, Howard House, Dowley Gap Business Park. Now, the Ashraf was going to look at it, unfortunately he hasn't. So has anybody looked at this property?
I've had a look
I've had a look at
past
it.
the gates anyway.
All
Not-
right.
Not being onto the land, it was Sunday afternoon. Obviously at that time there was a lot of problems because they were all queuing up for the tip in terms
Yeah.
of highways. My only reservation is that these were built as office accommodation originally.
Change of use from,
Obviously as a lot of people work from home now and
yeah.
commercial investment has changed. I honestly can't see it as a warehouse. It's going to need a lot of adaptation. The traffic coming to and fro now will be coming at virtually set appointed times like morning, lunchtime possibly, and then as they leave on an evening. Whereas we don't know the size of the vehicles that are coming and delivering here, and we presume that they'll be coming to and fro each day, throughout the day.
So is this right at the entrance then, as you're going into the tip? Is it,
It's on the right hand side.
it's on the
It's a
right
bit further
hand
down.
side?
It's going. Is it?
Next to the fisherman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fisherman, then there's a field, and then there's.
Oh, I was thinking at one place, yeah.
My major concern is access, because it doesn't specify what warehousing it's going to be. If it's
No.
transit vehicles and small vehicles, I don't issue a problem. Is if Arctics come, they've got to go over the canal bridge or down the chicane past the tip, which, as we all know around this table, is incredibly narrow.
Yeah.
That's my reservation.
So how do we feel then?
I was just wondering, like, so we don't know what sort of storage it's going to be, because when I read it, I automatically assumed to myself self-storage, like self-storage units. But is that ever specified? So, like, particularly. So if it was self-storage,
I agree.
because just the plan, it was sort of boxed off, but I don't know if that was just an example of how things could be stored, or if that was a locker for people to
Can
store
we just
things
look at
in.
that drawing, the bottom one?
Yeah.
Is that said? Does that help us in any way? Or-
I'd rather it was used for something, because
I would agree, totally.
yeah.
they obviously don't need the office space anymore. It is what it is.
If it is for self-storage, I wouldn't have an issue due to the size of the vehicles
Yeah.
coming and going.
No.
That's just going to be somebody's
very
car
large
over there.
articulated vehicles going out and in.
Yeah.
So if it's self-storage, you're going to have a lot of small
Yes.
car
What does that
vehicles.
look like? Is that what they've
Look at
done?
those comments where it says note.
Can you make them a bit bigger?
Max length articulated lorry is, oh, once per, wait
Hang
a
on.
minute,
Sorry.
yeah. Once per calendar month and time to allow for clear car parking to avoid parking disruption. Max length articulated lorry delivery is once per calendar month.
And who's going to monitor that?
Yeah, exactly.
I could say that, and who's going to
I know
monitor
what
whether there's
lorry
one a
drivers
day?
that will
Yeah.
accommodate that.
No.
Oh right, so that's the lorry, that could be the lorry there.
16.5 maximum.
How's it, so that has to reverse out as well,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
16.5 metres, yeah.
Yeah,
Without knowing what the warehousing was for, you could get a freight forwarding company moving
yeah.
with 10 or 15 of these vehicles a day.
We know, like, people have been complaining, like, for example, about Aldi with their lorries coming late at night, and it just seems to be one of these things where, oh, it is what it is, even if it was put into the planning permission. So it seems that once you've had planning permission, people tend to push the boundaries, don't they?
The other issue I would have is that is a well-used route to school
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Beckfoot from kids from
Isn't it,
Gilstead, Eldwick
Yeah.
and around. If you go down there at school start, dinner time, school losing, there are hordes of kids
Yeah.
and the footpath is, well,
Yeah.
there isn't.
It's not that wide.
No, it's totally substandard, and to actually exacerbate HGV movements so close to kids without a proper defined footpath and safe routes, I would say on highways grounds it's a refusal.
Are we refusing it on the grounds of
Highway safety.
just highway safety? Is that enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Large vehicle movements and small kids
Yeah.
don't mix.
No.
You've also, and it was mentioned earlier on, the tip.
Yeah.
I went on Monday, midish afternoon, and it was blocked for people going in both directions. So you throw Arctics into that mixture.
Oh God,
It's gonna
no,
be a hell of
no
a-
one would move.
It's not a good scenario at all,
Part of-
and particularly not knowing what this storage is going to be.
Part
Right.
of that path as well going up to there, it is like
Yeah.
at some points only about that wide,
Yeah.
so you
Which
do
is
have to
empty,
sometimes. And actually, there's overgrown hedge. I went on a run there this morning actually, and I had to like go onto the road because somebody was coming the other way.
And the school children have to crisscross between, so they come out of
Yeah.
school, they have to cross the road, they walk up past the rugby club,
Yeah.
then they've
again.
got to cross
the
again.
road again.
So the kids
Yeah.
veering across this road.
Do we have a second for that then, please?
Me.
Rachel, all in favour? Yes, thank you. Finally, 23/24/10, date of next meeting, which presumably, Nicola, will be the second Tuesday in June.
13th of June it is.
Won't it be
Tuesday,
the
yeah.
13th of June, which is in 3 weeks' time. I've already got 4 planning applications in. Yeah, you'd be pleased to know the first 3 are all in Cottingley.
good, it's about time.
I'm going to give the first 2 to Ashraf and then I'll look at the next one. And the next one I can't remember where it is. So thank you very much.